What's up? So today we're checking out the Monsoon, and I'll be honest with you, I actually think this might be one of the best SMGs in the game for a couple of reasons. For one, a lot of SMGs normally tend to sacrifice their damage and their mag size for fire rate, which is really bad because a lot of SMGs don't have any form of crowd damage. And obviously they're trading in their damage for fire rate, so that's not very good for dealing with smashers. But the nice thing with the Monsoon is that it trades in its reload for a bunch of like damage, mag size, fire rate, whatever. So its overall stats are actually very good if you ignore the reload. But I should talk about the perks I am running on my weapon, because those are of course what make the weapon unique. So let's just kind of get straight into that real quick. So I'm running critical rating, mag size, nature obviously because we're in a water season, crit damage, and bonus damage to afflicted targets with affliction, so basically auto synergy pretty much. And yeah, those are the perks I'm running on the weapon. Let's get straight into the loadout. So for my loadout, I'm running Crackshot in the lead, which explains the magazine perk that I'm running in my weapon perks. And I was kind of debating on the team perk, because I actually originally tried this build with Blast from the Past with both Prestrick Izai and Rex Jonesy, because, well, you get more survivability with Prestrick Izai and more ranged weapon damage with Rex Jonesy, but I actually tried that out in a game of co-op, and it seemed to not be that good. So I'm actually trading in Blast from the Past for totally rocking out, because it's going to increase our critical rating, which means we get a better DPS for the Monsoon, which is really good because it is a very good DPS weapon. So upping that overall damage per second is very good. So that's why I'm running totally rocking out, and it works really well too, because in the build I originally just had Beat Wildcat, because Rock and Rift is just a really strong perk to begin with. So I end up switching those two heroes for sub-wafers, just mainly so I can activate totally rocking out whenever, and Bullet Storm Jonesy because, well, he's just a weaker Crackshot, so why not throw him in there for a little bit of extra damage. And he does actually end up being better than Rescue Trooper Ramirez, so that's another reason why we're running him. And then to play around the long reload time of the Monsoon, we have Chaos Agent. Basically just throw a grenade, use any ability, shockwave, whatever. You get your mag back, so you can keep spraying bullets everywhere. Pretty straightforward. And then obviously, I mean, he's kind of a given, honestly. Like, you can't have a loadout without Sludgy there, if you are buffing at SMG or rifle. But yeah, that's pretty much the loadout I'm running. Crackshot in lead with tier O is pretty strong combo, honestly, if you ask me. And for the mission we're going to be doing, it's going to be this evacuate the shelter. It's water, of course, because we're in a water season, and it has acid pools, slowing attacks, and health burst. Health bursts kind of suck for this weapon, especially with the fact that it can have affliction. A lot of the times you can just spray this weapon, and yeah, health burst pretty much just counters that. But other than that, let's get straight into the mission.
Under attack! Check your map for the location of the shelter. Find the shelter before the husks do too much damage.
So right away, with the mission just starting, even though husks are just quite clearly attacking the shelter, you could just ignore them. Like when husks walk into the shelter, it actually counts as you killing them for some reason. So I'm just kind of using this time to just kind of build, because the problem with the strategy I'm using is that I'm running a weapon build in a evacuate the shelter, which is really bad because they don't really give you that much time to build. So trying to get as much time as I can, and I say you know, wanting to get as much time as possible, and yet there's a smasher right there, which kind of really sucks. And also there's like another smasher too on the other side of the base that you'll see in a bit as well, which also kind of really sucks because it wastes a lot of time, because 10 minutes isn't really that much time. Also, you can see right there, the reason why I'm running 2 Monsoons in my hopper, you can see down there, is because when you sometimes use a shockwave, it just doesn't register a Chaos Agent for some reason. I don't know why, that's just a thing, or a bug, I guess, but it's kind of annoying. So in case I don't have frag grenades, or my frag grenades bug out, because yeah, that's also a thing too. I just have the extra Monsoon just in case. But yeah, you can see that with both smashers, they both get shot down pretty easily, honestly. Just kind of like a hot knife through butter, they just die, eventually. But yeah, with all of that kind of taken care of, I'm just going to of course be upgrading everything with some block-offs. I don't really want them on this side, because, I don't know, just kind of a lot to worry about, especially with the limited time. And also right here, this is again like a really easy strategy that you could just use to counter flingers. Like I do this like all the time whenever I play a mission without a constructor. And even when I do play constructor, it's still a really good build to just do. Like just 2 defenders like with bundle buses, and that just completely counters flingers. But it's not like it really matters because there's not even flingers in this attack, which is a little sad, because that means I can't really try out the weapon against them. But there is a few smashers, I guess. I mean, I guess in general, like, there isn't really much going on in this defense, but it's not really a big deal anyways.
Storm data has been updated. Check your map.
So right here I craft like a few wall darts, not for damage, but mainly just for the extra building health. If you don't know, a power level 250 smasher does around 11,000 damage when it collides with a structure, so it basically one-shots just about every single building type, or like different, you know, like building types for wood, stone, metal, as well as like any like ramps, it will one-shot that, and walls. But if you have a wall, specifically a shrap on it with building health, it doesn't one-shot it. It just leaves it off with like around 400 health, which is really nice. So it's really easy and cheap way to just deal with that. I'm also just blocking off these waves too, just because I don't really want to deal with them. Like this mission doesn't really give you that much time to build, so that's mainly why I'm just kind of taking it low, risky, safe, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes those block-offs work, sometimes they get overrun occasionally. I think it just really depends on where you use them, honestly. But yeah, for the build I want to use, I'm just gonna just feel like using like some wall lights comboed with 4 launchers. And also I'm kind of a little bit lazy when it comes to doing damage, because yeah, I just pretty much spam broadsides everywhere. Mostly because I just want like some damage, just so I can consistently have tier O active. Because with the time limitedness of this mission, it's like I don't really have time to get wafers at all, so that's mainly why I want specifically damage. And also just because I'm showing off a weapon, I obviously want there to be smashers, flingers, you know, if they do show up, so that's mainly why. I also decided to just add a tire strap here too. I don't think you really need the tire strap, honestly, but yeah, I just will play it safe, honestly. You never have like too much crowd control, honestly, in a trap tunnel, honestly. More is always better. So yeah, I'm just like spamming broadsides in the air, because broadside cannonballs have a gravity effect if you don't know. And then of course a tar pit just to help out. And even though there's some weird terrain here, I do actually make it work pretty well. Honestly, I don't really know how. Like, I feel like if I were to replay this spot, like, I feel like that barricade would just get destroyed, but it just doesn't. I don't know why, honestly. So sadly, because of the terrain for this spot, I have to build a second trap tunnel down here, just because I'm not 100% sure where the spawns are, or where they could spawn. So I'm just building a second trap tunnel just to play around the terrain. Kinda sucks a bit, but it's always better just to play it safe than sorry, honestly, than just not, you know, playing around wherever the game could just send, you know, from anywhere. So that's mainly why I'm just building another trap tunnel down here. Sadly though, with this husk control, they had like show water, so I basically had to pretty much stop building this trap tunnel because I didn't really want to wake up those husks or risk having my stuff just get destroyed, so I just kind of just leave and just build barricades instead. That's unironically the most interesting thing that actually happened during building, besides the smashers at the start. I actually did get pretty lucky with this game because they just didn't really send that many husk patrols. Normally sometimes they're really bad and they send like hundreds of them for like a single mission. But yeah, I guess I played really well and just didn't really get any husk patrols besides that. And the lobber just kind of waves too, which is nice. And with just a little bit of time left to spare, I'm able to pretty much finish off my last trap tunnel up at the top. But sadly, I wasn't able to grab any wafers because I just didn't have enough time with how strict the time limit of the mission is. So I kind of just have to pretty much start the mission. I do try to hope that this dinosaur, of all things, gives me like some wafers, but it doesn't, so I end up just kind of having like kind of a dead perk, I guess, for this loadout. But it's not really that bad because it is a pretty simple damage strategy, so I do kind of hope that throughout the wave I do actually get fully rocked out. And I actually do here for this first smasher, which is nice. And yeah, the weapon actually does do really good damage against him with tier O active. Like, this is a power weapon 250 smasher, and after his health is gone, we'll pretty much have to clip in the gun, which is really, really good, in my opinion. because normally smashers don't ever die that fast, so that's pretty impressive. And yeah, they just don't really send any more smashers for quite a while actually. I'm not sure why they just don't send any smashers. I just find that weird sometimes. Like sometimes there'll be some missions where they send a lot, and some where they just don't send anything. Pretty annoying, honestly, when it comes to trying out weapons or shrap builds, whichever one. But either way, I mean, I guess it works for this mission. It's not really a big deal. You can also see right here that I'm just kind of spraying the weapon in the board as well. Because of the weapon having affliction damage, you can just also spray with it too. So it's not limited to just being used against smashers or bosses or random enemies. It's still very good against forts if you do have an affliction perk, because you can just pretty much spray it. And with all of the ammo it has, you can basically just pretty much like hit like around 50, 60 different enemies without a mag size perk, and they all just die because of the affliction perk. Which is honestly kind of low OP if you ask me. But then again, this mission does have hope first, so there's that, I guess. This weapon is also really good for picking off leaks. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, if a husky just randomly leaks from one of my shrap tunnels, it just dies really easily, and it doesn't even take that much ammo too, which is even better. So yeah, also a really good weapon too for just picking off leaks from your shrap tunnels, which is really nice. Sadly though, the boss in this game that I got has Ricochet, which pretty much means I can't even use my weapon against him, which kind of sucks. Because being able to use a weapon against a mini boss is honestly kind of a really good way to just test and show off like how strong a weapon can be. Like obviously if the weapon's able to shred the mini boss, obviously pretty good damage. But I mean, with the smashers that showed up, that just got melted. I don't really think I need to test this out on him. So, just going to try to like get him off the edge of the map, but I'm pretty certain that just doesn't work and he just lands on a ledge. But it's not like it really matters, it is just a husk mini boss, you could just lure him in circles anyways and just stall him out like that. Also, don't be like me right here and just randomly spam bullets into a shrap tunnel. Yeah, exploders exist, so for new players that want to use guns when someone else is strapping on the team, don't fire random bullets in your shrap tunnel. I kind of forgot that was a thing and didn't even notice it was a splitter wave, so... But at least that happened pretty late on into the game, so it didn't really matter anyways. And it's not like I needed to do anything with my slow field anyways. So yeah, that's the Monsoon. Honestly, yeah, pretty strong weapon if you ask me. Can easily deal with smashers in a solo environment pretty easily well. And yeah, pretty fun weapon honestly to try out, if you ask me. And the nice thing with this weapon too, it is a base game weapon, which means you can get it in just basic upgrade walnuts too. So fairly common weapon. So yeah, with that being said, hope you enjoyed the video and see ya.